so this season, both of your characters, Sophie and Jonah, are kind of free from their parental influences entirely. So I wanted to kind of know how you guys approached your characters' kind of new independence in this sphere, and like how they weighed that against like the impact their parents had on the rest of their lives and on the past season.
So I think Sophie obviously quite enjoyed the fact that she was free from her parents. Her dad was pretty unpleasant, horrible man to her. And so she, I think, is quite excited about the prospect of living her life now. But also, it is unknown. And there are lots of traps all around her, which she's very aware of, that she's got rid of one man to be surrounded by 20 others who are very similar to her father, and she still has to deal with. So she's trying to figure out how to walk that path. But I do think there are moments, and I think we tried to play that this season, that where you see the sort of set free children in the big building having our own way, which is really fun.
Yeah, I think for Jonah, he always wanted his independence, but not exactly in the shape and form that it comes in for him. His vision of his independence is, carousing and being the sort of libertine that he enjoys being. And I think when it finally comes, like I said, it's in an unexpected guise, and it's really daunting for him, and it's a huge test of his character and his mettle and his morals. And so he's kind of in over his head a bit and trying not to sink. Yeah.
And for this season, how did you kind of play between the dynamic between your two characters? Now that their relationship and the way they interact is much more public, with the increased publicity and the political tension that kind of ramps up this season.
I think that our characters, we mostly interact behind closed doors, and everything that's not behind closed doors, we're very, very official and professional, and we don't show anything. And I don't know if that was a discussion they had, probably not, or maybe it was something Sophie just told him to do. I also think that obviously at the end of last season, we kind of figured out, well, Jonah figured out, Sophie knew all along, that we're siblings, half siblings. And so there's a bit of a, we don't really discuss it, and we don't really know how to deal with it. So we just avoid it and get on with business. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the public and the private, it was really fun to play with, actually. And that's something that's, we only dipped our toe into slightly in the first series. Just more layers of deception, and even in private, it's like, how safe is Jonah or is Sophie to let their mask slip, or to be open or vulnerable with the other person. So the games are played on every level, on the public stage and behind closed, oak doors. It never ends. It's an exhausting place to be for those two. Yeah,
I could only imagine. And so the season's the last season, and you had two very wonderful, fantastical seasons you got to do. Was there anything from the experience of working on Carnival Row that you learned, either as like an actor or just like as someone working in television and getting to explore these worlds, that you'll take with you on like future projects?
Gosh,
for me, it was just to really make the most of every moment on it, because it's such a gift. So Carnival Row is this huge, magical, incredible world, and there are all these amazing creatures everywhere, and to just really breathe it in and take it in and appreciate it. I think that's what I've learned, because it's so amazing that we get to do this thing. And when you're in this big world like Carnival Row, it's like the top of the mountain. It's the dream. Yeah, so appreciate it.
Yeah, I would say the same, really, about really just throwing yourself into these kinds of things, and in a funny way, not taking it too seriously. Like, of course, you have to take the work seriously and the scenes that you're playing, but to still allow an element of playfulness and of mischief a little bit to creep in, and not be daunted by, you know, the huge sets or the huge budgets of these kinds of shows. To allow yourself to really play and kind of unleash your naughtiness as an actor, despite the stiff collars, you know, and the multiple cameras, you know. And also just working with some of the most incredible actors on this show. Of course, Caroline, but you know, Simon McBurney, Jared Harris, Indira Varma, for me personally, was kind of, I was a student of theirs in a way. Throughout the seasons, and so it was a huge honor to have that experience.
Do you have any kind of like wish list thing of something you wish your characters could have done that you just like didn't make it, but just some kind of dream thing you could have explored with them?
Ooh, I mean, I think because we're in the human world, it would have been kind of fun to at some point be magical.
Get to fly around.
Yeah, do some flying. I love that.
Yeah, it's hard to answer that question without giving away what we don't get to do, really. I'm gonna sort of tread on eggshells there. But
Okay.
yeah, I guess it'd be fun if Jonah flew, but that's just a sort of childish answer. But hey,
I tell you, that's what I said.
It looks fun. Yeah, we could just go for just one flight. That's yeah, I wish we did that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you can have like a spin-off where they both get to grow wings, and
it's unlikely, but
I love that.
Yeah,
We're pitching it now.
Yeah, it's like you can kind of name it different things to get around the legality.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Okay, I'm getting the wrap up, but so nice talking to you guys. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Yeah, thank you.